All right, so as we move on to the building of the backend. Okay, so we already finished this one. And to build the actual application, let's have some brief idea and design on what the application will look like. I think this app will be perfect for us to build a kind of mobile app, right? So we're gonna do the very simple design of app. Okay, we're gonna start from splash screen. And from there, okay, so we're gonna go to our home screen. Home screen is gonna be very simple. I think that's gonna be a list of tasks to finish. And every task, you have a task name, and then you input the time. Something like this. Okay, and then let's do something very simple, and then you click on a button, and it gives you the schedule. All right, just go. Okay, so I'm gonna use a different one. It just looks too bad. Okay, just click on OK maybe. All right, and then we're gonna see the results. The result will be very similar to the home screen, where it's gonna show you the actual schedule. Okay, so here the time one, and then you do this one. Two, you do the other one. Okay, just something very simple. Okay. All right, so from here, we're gonna click on the button, and then it goes to this screen. And the splash screen is just simple logo that shows it. But in order to get all the response, we will need to get and talk to our server. Okay, so this is going to be the server, the backend. So they're going to send a request to the server. All right, and then the server will actually give the response. So you can actually put it here. Okay, that's how it works. All right, so this is a kind of a request. Okay, so that's pretty much what we want to do. Okay, so we will need to later on build a simple mobile app for this one, and then also we will need to do a server. So let's actually start working on the backend first, because that one also uses Python. Okay, so going back to the code we have done here. Okay, there are a few things we need to modify. Okay, first of all, I think we will need to change this part into a variable. Okay, so I think in the example you can see you can turn it into a string. So I'm gonna give this one here a list task list, which is kind of like the other one. I'm gonna get this one over. All right, and then inside this prompt, then you can just put this task list. In Python, is this how we do this one? I think, and then here you do a string. Okay, let me search very quick how to embed a string variable into another string variable in Python. Yeah, that is the format string I'm talking about. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, and then you do a bracket. That should work. Okay, so all right, yeah, I think that works. Okay, so with that, we can think about later on, this is going to be our input. Okay, we input all of this, and that's going to generate the results. Okay, so that's one thing. Another very important thing is as we start to build application, we might need to turn all of this into a more formatted data in order to show it. For example, if I want to show a list of things in the app, I maybe want some kind of a list view And ideally, instead of having all this as a text, I want to have a JSON response, okay, a formatted data. So I think the ChatGPT API does provide you that kind of function right now. Let's actually see if they have a JSON option. Yeah, so response format. So this is something we're looking for here. Let's see if there is an example for this. Yeah, let's try to respond format with JSON. All right, so let's just see what the result could be. Okay, run this. JSON is not object. Show me an example of ChatGPT API Python call that uses with JSON. So the same thing and format, response format JSON. Yeah, so that should be the one we're looking for. Response format equal to JSON. Let's see what's wrong with ours. They use the GPT-3. I'm wondering if there's something wrong with, uh, let's see the error. To fix the following. Oh, yeah, they probably want to use some kind of object value. Okay, let's see if there anything we mixed. Okay. One of these options, they did mention this as string. Yeah, one thing I'm worried is the ChatGPT API version we're using, the library version. This one should be just like this. Okay. Mm. Let me just Google this one. think there's some changes going on with the API. Yeah, see, this is the one they're looking for now. Yeah, anyway, the documentation, just be careful. That's why I do want to show you the raw process. So you may hit the same error. They've been constantly changing this. Okay. So JSON object, let's do JSON. What if we do JSON? No, it's not recognized. Okay, so yeah, so I think there's something also wrong with the model. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so looks like this one worked for 3.5 and 3. For the GPT-4, we might need something else. Okay, so let's see this one, GPT-4, the preview. Okay, so yeah, the documentation is very inconsistent. Okay, so let's try this one here. We use a different model, and then this one's supposed to be JSON object. Okay, so this is still not gonna work. All right, so let's try 3.5 turbo. Oh, the message must contain the word JSON in some form. Okay, so let's see the examples. Did we miss anything? Okay, yeah, that's right. So here, so please make sure you only generate the complete schedule with the time duration and task finish as a JSON list. Okay, let's try that. All right, so I didn't read this message carefully. Okay, so they already told you the reason. Very good. Now, as you can see, this time we're only getting a list for schedule. Let's see the tasks, mobile, duration, and then break. So all of this one by one, mock interview, meeting, movie stuff. Okay, so they may not do the split of those very well. Okay, so also they are not giving us actual the schedule, right? Let's try that. Oh, I actually need to include this one here also. That's 3, so that should be another variable. I'll start working on this. From this one, we'll do a time. Start time. Let's actually build the start time as another parameter. Okay, so 2 input parameters. All right. So let's actually, maybe what I can do is I can just define the format of the JSON we're looking for. Right, so at the JSON list, each item in the list has 2 attributes, which is the from to time duration and task. Let's see if that actually helps. All right, a lot better. So from to time duration, this one here, this one here. They talk about 50 minutes, 25 minutes. But they're not really doing the breaks. Okay, so let's actually change to GPT-4, see if that could do any better. They don't support this. I think now let's just try to use a preview version. Looks like this is working. And it's going to take some time. Looks like this model is definitely taking a lot longer. Okay. But at the return, as you can see, the results seem to be a lot better. And they got a better breakdown. They have a break time, mock interview 101, all of this. Okay, so it looks like this is a lot better. I haven't checked this in detail, but mass work 1, 2, the 2 sessions, and then the 3rd session. Yeah, so it looks like it's a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna stay with this, okay, for now. Okay, it's time consuming, but eventually we get it to work. Okay, there, as you can see, there are a lot of issues, and even this documentation is not giving you the things very clearly. But anyway, so you should be able to Google and find out most of this. All right, so this is a very good start. Okay, if you have this, let's think about if you provide the input like this, 2 parameters, and then you should be able to get a response and the results. Okay, so what we need to do now is we want to turn this into a little small server. That way you can actually call this from the other front end. Okay, I'm going to get a function here. I'll call it generate schedule. Okay, so we're going to do a task list as a parameter and also the start time. With both of the parameter, you will be able to just call this. Okay, and then turn the rest into function. Okay, and then we're going to return this. Okay, that's a response. So all I'm trying to do right now is to make this as a function. So we can call this one by providing this input. Okay, so it works the same way. I'm just changing that into a function. Okay, so I'll get this one here, and if you want to call this one, I'll call gen schedule, and you should do task list as well as a start time. Okay, that's it. All right. Now, finally, okay, I want to also turn this into a server. Okay, that, we have a different way to do it. I'm just going to use a very simple server, which is called a Python Flask. Okay, so I'll do this one very quick, but you can actually find some tutorials, and then just to try to learn a little bit about the backend, things like that. All right, so once you have a Flask, I'm gonna create an app. Right, let's try to get the actual dependency. So we do app.run, and we'll call it host 0, 0, 0, there. Okay. All right. Let's rerun this one. This time I'm going to turn this into a server, as you can see. Now this is our server. The server, actually, the way it works is that, right, previously you have a function, you can only call it from the code. But now I have a function, I can call that from, from the URL. Okay, so I'm going to show you this example. I create a hello world. Okay, if I want to call this from URL, what I do is I do app.route. I give a URL, I call it hello. Okay, if I do this, let's actually see what happens. If I run this again. All right, and then there should be a URL somewhere available. Let's actually find out this URL. Okay, so this is the URL. I do slash hello. Yeah, so you see this result here is hello world. Okay, the reason is that I go to the server and it actually go to this function and then return a string over here. Okay, now what I need to do is to build another one for this. I'll do app.route, I'll do schedule. But I do need to pass these two things to here. Okay, so one is task list. There are two different ways to do it. The easy way is I can just embed it into the URL. Let's stop it. All right. Let's do list and start time. All right, so let's see if this one works. It looks like there's some complaining. All right. Here, the schedule. Right now, it's not going to work because I did not provide the parameters. And next thing is I need to provide a parameter. So this one, it should be having all the list of the tasks. And there are a lot of formatting. So hopefully this one actually works. So I'm just going to embed it into the URL like this. I do another slash. I do start time is I'll try 4 p.m. Okay, so this one is actually currently running. It's just take a long time. Okay, let's just wait, be patient. And then eventually it should show us the result here at the JSON. So this is the part that, if you've never done the backend development, it's maybe new. I will also send you some extra resources to learn this, okay? All right, so looks like this is still working, okay? Because we know this URL. Okay, so now it comes. Let's actually go back. See, this is the response we are getting. Okay, take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. All right, so here are the results. So now we actually finish our server. Again, this server part, if you want to look for more resources, okay, so what you're looking for is how to build a backend with a Python Flask. Okay, you should be able to get a ton of resources. I'll also point out some of the extra resources for you to learn this. And then you can use Rapidly to host it because that way it's easy for you to just get a URL. You don't worry about the server because this is a very lightweight server. Okay. I do want to mention that you do not always have to build a backend like this. You can also call this one from your application directly. It depends on the type of application you're building. Okay, but this is just a more typical way of building a backend.